the equations will be in the form of y equals mx plus b, which is slope-intercept form. So we're going to look at the next 3 slides. They each have 2 lines in their equations. They're similar to each other, but try to see what makes them the way they are. And then we're going to go to slide 6 and answer the questions. So we have y equals 3x plus 2 and y equals 3x minus 4. So these lines are parallel. You never cross or touch. If I look at their equations, they have the same slope. They have different y-intercepts. So these lines are again parallel. They never cross or touch. I look at their equations. They have the same slope of -1, but they have different y-intercepts. And I look at these 2 lines. Again, they are parallel. They never cross or touch. They say y equals 2 and y equals 1. Their slope is 0. So they have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. So what do you know about parallel lines? And then what do you think makes these lines be parallel on a graph? And we're going to write 2 detailed sentences. These will obviously be different for every single person, but an example would be, we know that parallel lines never touch or intersect. And then we know parallel lines will have the same slope but different y-intercepts. That was the same thing. That was the only thing that was the same between each of the 3 slides we just looked at. So the equation for this graph over here is y equals -1/2 x minus 3. We want to sketch a line that's parallel and type the equation below. So when I think about this, I know that my parallel line has to have a slope of -1/2, and it cannot have a y-intercept of -3. It can be anything else. So maybe I want my y-intercept to be 2, and I'm going to use my slope -1/2. So I'm going to go down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2, and then I can draw my line in. I could make it longer if I wanted to. So we sketched a line. We know it's going to be y equals -1/2 x plus, this one was at 2. And everyone could have different ones here. The only important thing is all the slopes are the same, and then the y-intercept is anything but -3. So the equation here is y equals 1x. So I know my slope still has to be 1, or 1 over 1. My y-intercept cannot be 0, so I could make it 3. And I can use my slope of 1 over 1 to find some more points, and then I can connect them together with a line. So my equation would be y equals 1x plus 3. And this time my equation is y equals 6. So it's a horizontal line. The slope is 0. So I'm going to keep y equals, I'm just going to change the number. So we can make it y equals -1. So I know I'm going to have a horizontal line through -1 on the y-axis. So now I want to create a line that's parallel that will go through the stars. So I need to figure out the slope here. My slope here is, here's a good point. Oh, it's right here, 2. So I need a different y-intercept. So I know I'm going to have y equals 2x. And then I need this line to go through the stars. So that's 5, 6, we'll say 7. And then we're going to press launch. And the lines are parallel and it went through the stars. So we want a line that's parallel that will go through the stars. So we know we need the same slope. We're going to start the same way, y equals negative 1/2 x. This time, though, the stars are going through 1 on the y-axis, so I'm going to say plus 1 there. And then we're going to see if I need to move it down at all. Nope. And that is lovely. So now we're going to talk about perpendicular lines. So we have two perpendicular lines, and we want to figure out, okay, what's the same and what's different. Perpendicular lines means they cross, and they have a 90-degree angle where they cross. So we have y equals 2x plus 1, and then y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1. Here the y-intercepts are the same, but the slopes are different. They both have a 2. This one's positive, this one's negative. This is technically like 2 over 1. This is 1 over 2. So I flip this slope and change the symbol. Okay, here the y-intercepts are different, so those don't have to be the same. And here the slopes are also different. I have -5 and positive, so a negative and a positive. That might be important. Remember, this is like 5 over 1, and this one's 1 over 5. So I'm seeing that the denominator becomes the numerator, and the numerator becomes the denominator, or I flip my fraction. That might be important. My last one, my y-intercepts are different. It's -1 and 2. And my slopes are different. It's positive and negative, so that is definitely something important. Each of the slopes, one was positive and one was negative. And then my fraction flipped. 2 over 3 became 3 over 2, or vice versa. So we know that perpendicular lines are two lines that uh, create a 90-degree angle where they intersect. And we know they'll be parallel. Not parallel, perpendicular. Because slopes will be, we call them opposite reciprocals. Uh, One slope will be positive and the other negative, and the fraction for the slope is flipped. So we want a line that's perpendicular to the given line. So this slope here is -2. Remember, it's really like 2 over 1 because I'm going down to right 1. So I'm going to have y equals, instead of negative, it's going to be positive. Instead of 2 over 1, it's going to be 1 over 2. I flip the fraction, put an x there, and then I can make the y-intercept anything. So we can make it negative. So these two are perpendicular lines. Okay, so I have y equals 4/3 x plus 1. So we're going to get y equals, and we have negative instead of positive this time. I flip the fraction, so 3 over 4 x. And then let's keep the y-intercept the same, plus 1. We didn't have to do that. It could be any y-intercept. It doesn't matter. This one's y equals 3. So a horizontal line, the perpendicular for horizontal would be vertical, and we know a vertical line is going to be x equals, and we can say 3 or anything else. We want to create a line that's perpendicular that will go through these stars. So we're going to do y equals, instead of negative, it's positive. I'm going to flip. So I'm going to have 3 over 1, or just 3, x. And that's a little high. So let's say -1. and I go through all my stars. It's okay if the balls don't go off the screen. They can go there. The goal is just to get through the stars. Okay, so y equals, I start with a positive slope, so my perpendicular won't be negative. I flip the fraction, so instead of 2/5, it's 5 divided by 2. And then I need to get through the stars, so that's positive 4 right there. Let's make sure it will. It does. And then we're going to match each of these. So let's see. Y equals 2x and 3x, so that's going to be neither. I have a perpendicular. See if I can make that bigger. There you go. And I know there's a parallel somewhere. So this one, if I get y by itself, it's going to give me a positive 4x over there. So I know that that is going to be parallel. Where my parallel sign is. There you go. And then this one's parallel. Those will never cross or touch. This one's going to be perpendicular. It's negative and positive, and I have flipped the fraction. And then here, if I look at the slope for this one, the blue line, I'm going down to right 1. So that's 2. And the red line, I'm going up 1, and negative 2, up 1, and then right 2. So that'd be positive 1/2. This one's perpendicular. And this one, when I look at it, the blue line's going up 1, 2, 3 over 1, and the red line's also positive. So I haven't changed the sign. So no, that one's going to be neither. And it tells me that I sorted them correctly. So now we want to see if I can find the equation of the line that's parallel that will go through this point here. So I know my slope here is going to be, I'm going down 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going down 4, and then over 5. So my slope is a negative for the green line, the negative 4/5. I want to be parallel, so my slope's going to be the same. Okay, but I need it to go through this point. So from this point, get green or red, I guess. To match our red line that we're moving around. I'm going to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my y-intercept is at negative 3. And I can check it. I'm going through the point negative 5, 1, and it is parallel. And then for this last one, I want it to be perpendicular, and it's going to go through negative 3, negative 3. So I'm going to find the slope for this line first. So let's make it green so it matches. So this one is, I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, then over 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have negative 3/4 here for my slope. So my perpendicular slope is going to be positive, and it's going to be 4/3 because I flipped the fraction. I need to go through that point. So I'm going to take my point and I'm going to go up. This one's red. I have to use the slope 4/3. So I'm going to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then right 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be through plus 1. So those two lines are perpendicular, and it goes through that. Hopefully that was helpful if you missed class today, and I will see you guys later.